Hey everyone, Eggman here with another video, and today we're going to talk about one of my favorite leaders of all times. When I started playing this game over 4 years ago, it was the first leader that I ever made a deck for. I'm not sure why I'm going all this rigmarole. You saw the thumbnail. It is the Set 2 Vegito leader, and when I originally made this list 4+ years ago, I'm like, you know what? This has Vegito support, this has Vegeta support, it has Goku support. No way that this will be just a bad leader for a long time. There's always going to be support for it because they're always going to print Son Goku and Vegeta cards. And like 5 years later, I'm right. They are finally printing a good amount of support for it in this new anniversary box, and I am all for it. So we're going to talk about the new cards, and we're going to have an example deck list at the end. And I'm going to say it then too when we go over the deck list, but there are a lot of ways to build this, especially with how flexible the permanent is. So no doubt there are some cheesy and there's some unique builds for this. We're just going to go with a safe build today, but don't think that it is the only build for this leader. So going over it, has this permanent. Each Son Goku and Vegeta in all your areas gets red, blue, and green colors. This is literally every area. This means energy, which is really important, and Z energy, and it just means that you really don't have to care about cost for anything but yellow. And also, if you are playing some yellow Gokus and Vegetas because those cards exist, that just means that they get every color, which can be helpful if you're going for a kind of build like that. When this card attacks, place up to one card from the top of your deck and you drop here. If it's red, it gets this gets plus 5k power for duration of the turn. So it's kind of nice just being able to get the plus 5k. It's attacking anything, which is kind of progressive back in like 2017, but like this is obviously does not generate a lot of card advantage or anything else, and it's just kind of fell for. And then it's just draw 2 on Awaken 2 with no inherent way on the leader to get there. So obviously it's seen like this. This is a really cool leader on the front side and the back side, but we don't get a lot of mileage from it because it's a little bit slow. And again, it is a set 2 leader. So coming in, we do have the new Z battle card for it, though. It's a 1 cost and for 1 Z energy. It is green, but again, as long as you charge a Goku or a Vegeta, you should be fine. And then permanent, if there are 3 or more colors in your Z energy, this gains barrier. And when this card is played, look at the top 7 cards from your deck, add up to 1 Vegito card among them to your hand, then shuffle your deck. If you added a card, place 1 from your hand to the bottom of your deck. And then also activate main. If your leader is a red Vegito card, its front side is facing up and you have 2 or more energy and you remove this card from the game, flip one of your leaders to its back side and draw 2. So very, very helpful there, being able to essentially awaken for 1 energy and get the flip over very easily. So obviously you can awaken with 8 life on this leader incredibly easily. And since this is an awakening in the Z deck and not in you don't have to draw it, it's consistently, as long as you can get 1 Z energy, which is so easy to do, you are consistently awakening every turn 2, which is amazing, especially for this leader here. And then additionally, we do also have a new Z leader for this. So obviously you have to be on the backside. You can't just go into the Z leader from it, but we do have our Super Saiyan Blue Vegito, a new look, double strike Z awaken for 1 red on a red Vegito. It has the same permanent about all your Gokus and Vegetas. And then also activate main once per turn if you have 3 or more energy and you choose one of your Vegito Z battle cards, such as this one here. Place up to 1 Vegito card with any cost of 8 from your hand on top of the chosen card. So it just means you get to go into your big boys for free. No energy investment at all. You do have to play 1, for the Vegito, but you go from there. Then also activate main once per turn, place 1 card from your hand at the bottom of your deck, draw 2, then choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and return it to hand. Like, this is such a good Z leader, and you don't have to be at 4 or less life. You can get to the Z leader at 8 life if you so desire, and it just gets so much advantage for you. So I think this is a really, really good kick in the pants for the archetype. Obviously, you pretty much have to be running 1 of these Vegetos as well as 3 or 4 of these Z battle cards. There's only flex room for 1 or 2 kind of Z cards in your battle or Z area, but this is a really, really good amount of support for, I think, a really underlooked and underappreciated leader for a long time. So obviously, I hope you guys can tell I'm really excited for all this. And let's just go into the example deck list that I have for you guys. And here is the example deck list, and I will say it again, there are so many ways to build this leader that this is only one, and I'll be honest, this is a safe one to build around, but I do think it does the work and just shows kind of some of the fun combos, especially since this is just such a history of Dragon Ball list. There are just cards from all 5 years, I feel like, that are in here that are just suddenly viable because this leader, 2 cards being around, which is really, really neat in my opinion. So going through it real quick, we do have a bunch of Gokus and Vegetas. Again, they're all going to be red, blue, and green at all times. So I think this Vegeta is the best one to start off the game with, being able to just have inherently a barrier 1-drop. This is the only 1-drop barrier between the 2 that exists in the game right now, so you definitely want to play this one for 1. That just means that on turn 2 you have some flexible plays for you. We didn't actually like. Surprising, there's not a lot of really generically good one-drop Gokus and Vegetas. So another one is just this Son Goku and Vegeta Saiyan Energy. The fact that this has both characters' names on it just means that it is flexible in the sense of you can use it for either material. You do need 2 cards. You can't just say a union with both. With only this, because you do need 2 cards for it. But it is a counterattack. You get to negate the attack and play this card in rest mode, and that can be important. And it's a 5k combo. You don't get to use the rest of the auto because you're not a blue leader, but it is just good name-wise. And you do just need, honestly, a good amount of Gokus and Vegetas just to be able to charge and put in your energy. So that is there too. And then just the one-drop Super Saiyan Son Goku Legend Personified. It says draw 1 on play, so that's fine. So Bond 3 might be a little bit tricky to do, but you can do it if you need to. But it's just a Goku with a draw 1, and that's pretty much it. Going into the larger guys, so we do have 3 Vegeta Resolve Renew. This is like unironically built for this leader, so it's great. People obviously are playing it outside of this leader because it's so generic, but both this Vegeta and the Goku both have this activate main. For 1 red, if your leader card is a Vegito card and you add 1 card from your life to your hand, you get to play this card from your hand, which is quite nice. So you get a 10k, and then you get to take a life and draw a card, because sometimes you don't want to be stuck at 8 life all game. Sometimes you need to draw cards from there, so it's important. And Goku, same way. It's just a 1-drop negate, essentially, as long as it's turn 3 or more, and you can pay again for 1 to add a card from your life to your hand to play this card, so that's pretty good there. And then we do have essentially, like I did say earlier, that there's they're finally printing support, and they've been supporting this leader for a while. Don't get me wrong, but you just get to combine all of it at once. So we do have like this Vegito Polymorphic Potara broken card in just the sense that you discard it for 1 to play a Vegeta and Goku from your deck or drop area for free. It has to be energy cost 2 or less, which can be these guys, because they specifically say if the battle card, if you have 3 or more energy, reduce the cost of this card in your deck and hand by 2, so you can play this from the deck if you need to. Strong there, and then you can't play non-Vegito battle cards for the duration of the turn. And then at the end of turn, place all battle cards placed in the battle area by this goes to the owner's drop. But the big thing is you want to play this Vegito Resolve combined, so a good. So again, from the 2020 special anniversary box, so 2 years ago. Barrier, that's Union Potara for free, and you get to draw 2 cards for doing it, which is great. And then activate main or battle for 2, play up to 1 Vegito card, and it costs 7 or less from your deck on top of this card, then shuffle your deck. It is from deck, which is, you do have to. There is a bit of panache to go through this deck, because this specifically says for the activate main, you play it from your hand. It has to be a specific cost of 8. This just says it has to be a 7 or less. So for us, it's only this guy, but this is such a good guy to have it on. So it's a 25k triple strike, and when you play this card, if your leader card is Vegito, choose to 1 of your opponent's battle cards and up to 1 card in their opponent's hand, place them in their drop area, then draw 2 cards, then choose up to 2 cards in your life, add them to your hand. So this can just go like +6, because it gets rid of 2 of your opponent's cards, and then it gets you 4 cards from life and draw. And then it's a 25k triple strike. It doesn't have protection because it got released in set 3, but is it set 3? Yeah, set 3. Crossroads, baby. It is just I really like this card. It's super fun. I really wanted this deck to work when it first came out, and I still have some copies of this guy. He's very fun. So we do also have some 8-drop Vegitos, because again, from the leader, it is an 8 cost from your hand, not 8 or less, specifically 8 cost. So we have Super Saiyan Blue Vegito. This is just conveniently helpful. It's a 5k combo in hand always, so it's never dead. It's deflect triple strike barrier, so it has a lot of protection, and it's just a 35k triple strike swing that you get to play for essentially free off of your Vegito and go from there. And then we also have the Super Saiyan Blue Vegito the Savior. This is such an old card, and I love it. So it's dual attack crit, and when this card attacks twice in the same turn, it gains double strike for the duration of the turn. So it's the first attack is crit, and then the second one's double strike. It has no protection because, again, this was released in the first expansion set. This is like the bad one, because there was the Overwhelm expansion set, and then there was this one, and everyone wanted the Overwhelm one. But he was such a cool card, and it never got used, so I'm happy to see it have a reason to exist right now. And then lastly, we do have the secret rare. There are a couple secret rares that could be Vegitos that could do this, but I think this one is the best one. It just says draw 4 and rest 4 of your opponent's cards, which is great. You do have to it reduces the cost of it in your hand by 3 if your opponent has 6 or more energy or 6 or more cards in rest mode. So you can do it off your leader effect, your Z leader effect here, but you have to make sure that it doesn't reduce its cost to 5, because then you won't be able to play it, because it has to be specifically 8. So that's something you have to make sure. So if it's late game and your opponent's already tapped out, you really don't have a way to to play this card, especially because it costs 2 yellow energy because it's 3 blue and 2 yellow, and you don't produce yellow energy off your Gokus and Vegetas. So there's that. I do think there is a version of this list that does lean into yellow stuff, because there are just enough Gokus and Vegetas that are yellow that you can just reliably charge them every turn and make sure you draw them. So I think that is worth it, but it can be stuck in your hand in this deck, so you have to be careful about that. Everything else I think is pretty self-explanatory. You definitely run Sensu Bean because then you get to extend your plays very easily. Violent Rays makes sense. For super combos, I'm putting 2 Raditz and 2 Beerus. Beerus are really cool, but sometimes you just if you hit a bean, you get nothing, so that sucks. Everything else, or if you hit the Hyper Rush Vegito, that sucks too. Most of the times, these are going to be sent to the bottom of your deck anyways, because you can't play them from your hand unless you want to pay the big cost of 5, which you don't want to do that. So that is something. But this is kind of safe. If you're playing like a yellow version of this deck, definitely play this card, because you can easily get the double trigger off this guy off of just hitting a Goku or Vegeta, and that's kind of nice. So we have it there, and then Raditz is just a safe choice. All your energy is red, so you just have to make sure you're charging not your Vegetos that aren't red, but you shouldn't be doing that anyways. Z-Deck, we do have 3 of this. If you want 4 of it, go for it. I'm just showing off a little bit more of the creative stuff. So we do have these guys. We do have the SS4 Goku Defender of Life. This is just to play and crit your opponent's life from 2 to 3, or sorry, from 4 to 3, which means they're in triple strike range for either the Hyper Rush or the Vegito here, or just, I guess, 3 damage of crit off this Vegito. So this could just be able to put your opponent in lethal range with some of your bad boys, which is good to see. We also do have, I put in this guy, and it's the reason is for I wanted to have a potential Goku, and this is a Goku GT reminder too, so this is not a target for any of your Union stuff, but I did want to say, you know what if I put this Rush Attack Vegeta, because he is broken, and this Goku, and then these guys are Gokus and Vegetas, and they are the regular Gokus and Vegetas. I'm going to double check because I'm not sure of myself. Cool. Which means that you can bring these out of your Z-Decks, or whatever one that you're missing for Union Potara, and then you could use the Union Potara Vegito here, draw 2 cards, get some cycles. So just having some backup for your Potara plays if you need it to out of your Z-Deck, I think is worth it. Obviously the deck space is very slim, so you do have to be careful for that, but I did want to present that option as something you could do to kind of help the consistency for it. Also, the black Vegeta that is good, that lets you take a life, is a Vegeta Xeno, so you can't use it. Otherwise, we'd 100% put that guy in. But I think that's going to be it for this list. It's been very fun to play. It's obviously a little bit specific to finding the right lines, and obviously like the leader and like this guy kind of conflict on what cards you can bring out, but I think it's in a really, really good spot. So also, you can also just choose a Vegeta with any cost 10 or less in your hand, play it with this guy. So you could play the secret rare off this guy. I didn't mention that. That was my bad. So sorry about that. I already have comments. I know it. I already have comments for that, but that is okay. But it's just very fun. It's very fun to play, honestly, with, as I said earlier, just years of cards that have just been existing for a long time, putting all of them into a deck at once and having it have a really cohesive gameplay only from releasing 2 cards is really, really neat. So again, that's going to be it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Let me know if there's any other leaders that you want me to try to make for this anniversary box meta, and that will be it for me. So again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you all next time.